What's going on, guys? As always, I'm LCU, and I'm going to be starting a short marathon for the Valentine's Day season. And to kickstart it off, we're going to be talking about what I consider to be one of the best romance films of all time, 500 Days of Summer. 500 Days of Summer is like an onion. It has so many different layers that you're able to relate to, getting peeled back one at a time, and so many different lenses that you can look through to see certain aspects. 500 Days of Summer only gets better after every time you watch it, being able to see the different aspects the film offers. To me, this film is such a fresh take on the boy meets girl, quote-unquote love story, where it tackled so many, and almost too many, relatable themes, tones, and ideas. It's told in this non-linear fashion, where it's worked really well for me, because this film easily could have fallen into the trap that a lot of romance films fall into, where it's boy meets girl, they fall in love fast, they hit a rough patch and break up, then the film ends with them getting back together and living happily ever after. But because it was told in this sort of fashion, it helped avoid that, giving this sort of freshness along with the different themes that we're after here. Although this film has that rise and fall method, it was done in such a unique way to help you get even closer to our main protagonist, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It does such a great job bringing you along for the ride, building the details and you up along with it, that it all comes crashing down and bringing you down to earth and almost making you feel the same emotions that Tom, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, was feeling. The film does move pretty fast, but in the same breath, it gets you hooked onto their connection in the same amount of time due to the genuine connection that they have, and also the many great scenes they included that make you smile and also laugh pretty well as well. One of the other really cool bits of this film was the underlying messages that they tackled, whether that be go after what you want or go after your dreams, or the fact that guys can get so hung up in searching for that perfect someone, adding unnecessary tension to the situation, instead of looking for that someone that you're perfect with, /for, and can fill each other's gaps. Now, they also do a great job showing both point of views and how they're both wrong, by showing how Tom only really sees the good in her to accomplish his dreams of finding a girl that he believes is perfect, which is pretty selfish, along with both of their toxic habits of seemingly Summer only using him, than him not listening to her all the time. So it goes both ways. Although the story has so much to unpack and say, our main two characters have an equal, if not more, to say. As for Joseph Gordon-Levitt goes, before I get into the details, Joseph Gordon-Levitt as an actor is underappreciated, undervalued, and underloved, because it's not just this film, but every movie that I've seen him in, he's been great. He needs to be in that class at A-tier talks when you talk about him as a male actor today. But with that little spiel aside, his character is very easy to relate to and get invested in. He's not this puppy dog style of character where you just feel bad for him, but it's the way his character is written, being extremely relatable to a lot of guys, me included. He falls in love so quickly, basically over nothing, but still finding those reasons to do it, along with the fact that we all yearn for a girl that not only is attractive, but makes all his love songs and love movies make sense, that says and does all the right things, that matches that checklist of a dream girl that we all have, and so on and so forth. It's extremely easy to find a piece of you in him in some sort of way, so watching his rise was something truly touching. Then when it came to his downfall, it can hit even more, or at least just as equal as the rise did, because we all can relate to the rejection, especially to the ones that we never wish would think would reject us. The downfall of this character wasn't very pleasurable to watch, but very eye-opening in the same aspect of how it happened and how it played out. As for Zooey Deschanel's character, Summer, again, I'm sure all of us guys have been in a similar situation and can almost see where this was going, but wanted to refuse it was going to happen and happened to him, but it's all relevant and very realistic. A lot of people seem to make her the bad guy, and I can totally see that, especially off of first viewing, and especially with it mainly being told from his point of view, but if you pay attention, she doesn't really do anything that's bad, along with Levitt's character being a bit selfish and toxic as well. With their individual aspects aside, as a unit, their connection just works beautifully. Not only was it great character work, but their chemistry meshed so well together, where for me, this sort of had this awkward bond with an interesting style of communicating, but it worked and it made their relationship very unique and all the more entertaining. It was very easy to believe and get invested in them straight away through the genuine nature of their relationship and also the quick build into it. But where the film really digs deep, although you can simply enjoy the film at face value, when you look beyond that, you can really appreciate how they tackle both point of views and how their mentalities basically change due to their relationship. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about was the screenplay. This wasn't just a bunch of lovey-dovey nonsense like your mom's favorite soap opera, but there was so much sophistication and wit that went into these bits of dialogue. At this point, I just feel like a broken record in saying this, but the relatability this film had, a lot of that comes from the dialogue and style of conversations that they had. They actually communicate like two human beings harmlessly flirting at first, and then becoming something a little bit deeper. The conversations were so good and so real at times, and almost felt like they were acting through how the conversations played out and how they would lead into things. I also really enjoyed the bits of comedy this film had as well. This isn't your typical rom-com, but it certainly is one for sure, because the amount of laughs this film had was incredible. I honestly wasn't expecting to laugh as hard as it did at some points, where they do such a good job just blending the tones together and not just trying to fit in a shitty joke every opportunity they had like most rom-coms do. Overall, there is little amounts of things that I don't really care for in this film, like maybe some of the predictability to it, but outside of that, 500 Days of Summer is damn close to a masterpiece. It gets a 9 out of 10 from me. Let me know what you think of 500 Days of Summer in the comments below, and let me know what film you'd like to see me review next. See you guys on the next one.